It seemed like no assistant could ever stick around for a full month with the millionaire CEO, until a clumsy, stubborn young woman came into his life and completely turned his world upside down. Before we dive in, I'd love to hear from you. Please share which city you're tuning in from. I'd love for you to share your thoughts on the story once we're finished, so please give it a rating from 0 to 10. I hope you find joy in the story. I was already late, and in my mind, that meant I should at least walk in with a sense of dignity. It was a bit unfortunate that her skirt kept shifting to the side, and she noticed a piece of paper from the Boston L train had found its way onto her heel. I'm really excited about this beginning. As she pushed the glass door a bit too forcefully, I noticed the receptionist nearly sputtered on her coffee. "What about you?" "Emma Harper." "Hi there, I'm Sophie Lane. I'm excited to have the opportunity to interview for the executive assistant position. It's 10 in the morning. I realize it's already 10:20. And yes, the Boston L train came to a halt. I have to admit, I got a bit mixed up about the building name. Well, I did manage to spill coffee on my resume, but I promise you can still read it just fine." I could see her blurting it all out in one breath, adjusting her skirt and pulling the paper off her shoe. The receptionist just blinked, almost as if she were caught in a moment that was moving too quickly for her to grasp. "Mr. Collins really values punctuality." I smiled warmly. "Absolutely perfect. I really can't stand it when doorknobs are slippery. Are we all squared away now?" I noticed the receptionist pause for a moment before she gently pressed a button on the phone. "Mr. Collins, I'm happy to let you know that the candidate has arrived." Just 5 minutes later, I found myself stepping into a grand office where every piece of furniture seemed to shine with a value that surpassed my entire apartment. Behind the desks, I found Nathan Cole, the CEO of Mason & Clark Enterprises. My suit is flawless, my hair is perfectly styled, but my eyes might seem a bit distant. I took a deep breath. "Be careful not to stumble. Please be careful not to trip. I'm sorry I'm late, and I just realized I have lipstick on my tooth," I said with a sheepish smile. Emma Harper came to a sudden stop. I could see her run her tongue over the corner of her mouth, completely unbothered by it. "And I'm feeling like I'm in the middle of a post-apocalyptic movie. Do you have any streaming recommendations for me?" For the first time, I caught Lucas Bennett's gaze as he looked up at me. It feels like time stretches on forever. In the stillness, I find a moment of peace. It felt like time stood still in that room. "My resume is a bit crumpled. It's all my backpack's fault. It seems to have a personality all its own, and it definitely doesn't like job interviews. I have an incomplete degree. Business school just didn't seem to hold my interest. I may not have experience as a secretary, but I have a knack for uncovering those elusive staplers that seem to vanish into thin air. I take pride in making a good cup of coffee." I smiled, doing my best to hide the panic that was bubbling up in my stomach. Lucas Bennett looked at her with a sense of curiosity, trying to understand her in a way that felt both personal and intimate. At last, I leaned back in my chair. I'm really excited about the opportunity this job presents. It feels like a perfect match for my skills and passions, and I genuinely want to contribute to the team and make a positive impact. I believe in the mission of the organization and would love to be a part of it. I've got bills to take care of, a cat with a hearty appetite, and a knack for losing jobs before the trial period wraps up. I raised an eyebrow. As I watched Emma Harper wince, I admired how she managed to hold herself together. All right. Am I being too honest? I can certainly put on a smile and act like I enjoy corporate environments and colorful spreadsheets, if that's what makes you happy. With a gentle sigh, I felt a wave of emotion wash over me. Every candidate before you was... quite polite. I really feel like that was a missed opportunity. I watched as she sat down, not bothering to wait for permission. I think good behavior gets a bit too much credit sometimes. Just a moment of stillness. With a gentle sigh, I closed the folder, feeling a sense of completion wash over me. This role is temporary. I'm excited to share that there's a 1-month trial available. If you make it through, you belong here. It feels like survive is the right word, especially with the way the receptionist looked at me. Emma Harper stood up, feeling a warm surprise that she was still there. All right, Mr. Collins, I'm ready to take on this challenge. I'm really looking forward to this. It's going to be a great time. Or maybe just a bit messy. Let's begin tomorrow at 8 o'clock, just like we planned. 7:59. I just wanted to keep you on your toes. As I stepped out of the office, my skirt finally in place and lipstick touched up, I didn't catch the curious looks from the staff in the glass break room. Soft whispers began to fill the air. How long do you think she'll be able to hold on? One analyst softly spoke. Just about a week, at most. Did you notice the expression on his face? I think it will take 3 days. I'm placing a bet of 2. If she makes it through this coffee mix-up, it will truly be a miracle. As I sat in the office, I found myself slowly twirling my pen between my fingers, my mind lingering on that surprisingly genuine candidate. There was something about her that just didn't sit right with him. Or perhaps I pushed him a little. I wasn't sure yet. Emma Harper arrived right on the dot at 7:59, just as she promised. The receptionist observed her with a sense of wonder, as if she were experiencing something truly extraordinary. While I was in the elevator, I caught a glimpse of 2 employees sharing whispers with each other. Today marked the beginning of our new assistant's journey with us, someone mentioned. Oh, you poor thing. Do you remember Lauren Myers? I held on for 3 weeks, but I found myself crying in the bathroom for the last 5 days. What about Rachel Bell? I decided to leave my job after 2 weeks, sending my resignation via email at 2 in the morning. The record was Emily Watson. It's been 6 days. I stepped out during lunch and just never returned. I could see Emma Harper pretending not to hear, but I could feel her stomach tightening in that moment. As the elevator doors opened on the 32nd floor, I took a deep breath, feeling a mix of excitement and nerves, and made my way to the desk that would be my new home for the next 30 days. If she reached that point, the desk was positioned just outside Lucas Bennett's office, almost like a cozy control station or a familiar battlefield trench. I glanced at my calendar. I have meetings scheduled every hour. I just keep going without any breaks. It seems like I can't even take a breath, huh? At 8:15, I finally stepped out of my office for the first time. I paused when I noticed Emma Harper arranging the files into vibrant stacks. Hey there, what are you up to? I'm working on building a system. Green means it's urgent, yellow signifies something important, and blue? Well, that's for the things that can wait forever. I've seen this system in action, and it has truly worked wonderfully for 5 years now. Emma Harper gazed at them with a piercing look. It looks like we have 2 systems now. I believe a little competition can be quite beneficial. Lucas Bennett looked at her, his gaze lingering for a full 3 seconds. He returned to his office, gently shutting the door with a little more force than he intended. After about 15 minutes, I heard the phone ring. Emma Harper responded with genuine excitement. Hello, you've reached Mason & Clark Enterprises. This is Emma Harper here. How can I assist you today? What can I do to brighten your day? There was just silence on the other end. Oh, I'm sorry. May I ask who's on the line? Hi there, it's Emma Harper. The new secretary has joined us. Who would you like to chat with? I typically have direct conversations with Lucas Bennett. Hi there, this is Thomas Blake from Thomas Blake and Associates. It's great to connect with you. I took a moment to check the calendar. Hi, Mr. Thomas Blake. I just wanted to remind you that you have a meeting coming up on Thursday. I'd be happy to confirm the time for you. I'm reaching out to discuss the Boston contract. I really need to talk to Lucas Bennett, and it's quite urgent. Absolutely wonderful. I'll take care of that for you right now. I found myself randomly pushing buttons on the phone, hoping to somehow transfer the call. It was a bit of a gamble, but I finally managed to make it work. Lucas Bennett answered on the very first ring. Just a couple of minutes later, he stepped out of his office once more. I moved Thomas Blake over to the sales department. Oh dear. I'm still getting the hang of this phone. It feels like there are more buttons here than in an airplane cockpit. Thomas Blake holds a special place as our most valued client. I really don't think he should be sent to sales when he's reaching out about legal contracts. I understand. Thomas Blake holds a special significance. Sales just isn't the right fit for me. I found myself scribbling on my notepad, lost in thought. I'm curious. What made him sound nervous? As I stood there, I felt a moment of hesitation wash over me. I've noticed there's an issue with a clause in the contract. There's really no need for you to worry. Before he headed back inside, I couldn't help but notice Emma Harper slap her forehead in frustration. Oh, I nearly let that slip my mind. Someone kindly dropped off a package for you earlier. I went ahead and signed for it. Which package are you referring to? I found him waiting in the lobby. He mentioned he was with the law firm and had some urgent documents to deliver. I noticed Emma Harper pointing to a folder on the desk. It felt important to me. I felt a frown tugging at my lips as I reached for the folder. My eyes quickly scanned through the contents. Emma Harper. That was more than just a delivery guy. Hi there. I'm Andrew Hayes, a senior lawyer at Morrison & Associates. I wanted to share some confidential documents regarding the Thomas Blake contract with you. Oh dear. He had on jeans and sneakers. How could I have possibly known? I continued to read, noticing how my feelings began to shift with each word. So, are you signing as a representative of the company? I signed as Sophie Lane, the one responsible for ensuring that nothing goes missing. I think it's quite creative, don't you? Emma Harper, I need to tell you that you're not authorized to... But then he paused, his gaze locked onto a specific page. I'm curious, where did you end up signing? Here I am. I noticed her pointing to a line at the bottom of the document. I'm curious. Why is that? I took a moment to examine the signature, then glanced at the date, and finally, I looked at the location where she had signed. Emma Harper, I can't believe you just found a legal loophole that our lawyers have been searching for over the past 3 weeks. I found out what? When you sign here on this line, you're helping to ensure that our interests in the Thomas Blake contract are protected. It means a lot to us. I looked at her with a blend of disbelief and admiration. This might just be the key to preserving a $15 million deal. I blinked several times. Did I really do something good? You accomplished something that 3 Harvard-trained lawyers couldn't. Wow, I can't believe I didn't even finish college. I returned to my office quietly, carrying the documents with me, lost in my thoughts. I stood there, gazing at the closed door, my mind racing to make sense of everything that had just unfolded. It was 10 a.m. when the phone rang once more. This time I took a moment to check the caller ID before answering the phone. Hi there. This is Emma Harper from Parker & Stone. Hi there. Is Nathan Cole available to chat? The voice belonged to a woman, and I could sense her impatience. Could you please tell me who's on the line? I'm Eleanor Brooks, his mother. My hands nearly slipped as I almost dropped the phone. Oh, Mrs. Collins, could you hold on for just a moment, please? This time, she made sure to transfer the call just right. A few seconds later, I heard Lucas Bennett respond in a tone that felt entirely different. Hey, Mom. The call was just 3 minutes long. After Lucas Bennett hung up, I could hear a deep sigh coming from his office. I left for an external meeting at 11. I took a moment to really explore my new desk a bit more. I discovered a 100-page manual tucked away in the third drawer. Manual for executive secretaries. Guidelines and protocols for supporting the CEO. I flipped through it quickly. There are guidelines for answering the phone, organizing documents, scheduling meetings, serving coffee, and greeting visitors. I gently closed the manual and set it aside, feeling a sense of accomplishment. It's too late for that now, I whispered to myself. When I got back at 2 in the afternoon, I found Emma Harper sitting in my chair, using my computer. Hey there. What brings you to my chair? I'm exploring how comfortable and user-friendly this feels. I can imagine you might be dealing with some back issues. I find this chair really doesn't do my posture any favors. Please, could you step out of my chair? Thank you. I'm on it right away. I stood up quickly, almost tripping over my own feet. I wanted to see if I could access the system, just in case you ever need anything urgently. I don't have a password right now. Absolutely. It seems like your password might be a bit too easy to guess. Lucas Bennett looked at her, feeling a mix of surprise and wonder. What do you mean by obvious? Collins 123. It's truly one of a kind. With a sweet, innocent smile, Emma Harper brightened the room. Perhaps we could consider something that feels a bit more secure. You managed to crack my password? I wasn't able to figure it out. I took a guess. I reached out to Lucas Bennett, the CEO of Collins. My third attempt turned out to be the one that worked. I think it would be great for you to try something different. As Lucas Bennett sank into the chair, he found himself gently rubbing his temples, seeking a moment of relief. Emma Harper. It seems like today has been a bit of a challenge with the security rules, as you've broken at least 6 of them. I took care of the Thomas Blake contract issue. I hope that means something, doesn't it? I watched her for a long moment. It's time to head home. I'm looking forward to our conversation about boundaries tomorrow. I picked up my bag, my mind racing as I wondered if today was the day I would be let go. Is that you, Mr. Collins? Excuse me, could you clarify that for me? I'm really grateful that I still have my job today. The day still has some time left in it. I smiled and waved as I made my way to the elevator. As I sat alone in the office, I found myself reopening the documents I had signed, unaware of what I was about to discover. I found the solution right there, clear as day. All because of a little mix-up with a signature from a woman who thought a senior lawyer was just a delivery guy. I could see him shaking his head, caught in that space between feeling a bit irritated and genuinely impressed. I often found myself thinking that Sophie Lane was a walking disaster, but perhaps she was just the kind of beautiful chaos he was looking for. On the third day, I felt it was time to take some initiative. Nothing quite captures the spirit of initiative like arriving with coffee for the boss, even before he has to ask for it. I saw her arrive at 7:45, holding 2 cups from the coffee shop just around the corner. I made one for her, just the way she likes it, with milk, sugar, and a touch of cinnamon, and another for Lucas Bennett. Not knowing his preferences, she chose to go with a more relatable approach, just a little milk, a couple of spoons of sugar, and a hint of vanilla. Good morning, Mr. Collins, I said warmly as I walked into his office, carrying both cups with care. I made sure to bring coffee to kick off the day on a good note, didn't I? I glanced up from the documents I was immersed in, my expression calm and collected. I didn't really ask for coffee. I understand, and that's exactly why it's such a delightful surprise. I set the cup down on my desk, feeling a warm smile spread across my face. It's my favorite latte, sweetened with sugar and a hint of vanilla. I really think you're going to enjoy it. As I watched Lucas Bennett gaze at the cup, I could sense his apprehension, as if he feared it might suddenly burst apart. I enjoy my coffee black. I used to drink my coffee black, but everything changed once I had a really good latte. Oh, just take one little sip, please. I picked it up, took a gentle sniff, and couldn't help but make a subtle face in response. Emma Harper. I've been enjoying black coffee for 15 years now. Just plain, nothing extra added. That's not coffee. It's more like fuel for the machine. As I settled into the chair across from him, I took a comforting sip of my drink. I really believe in finding something that truly tastes good. As Lucas Bennett took a small sip, I could see his face scrunch up, almost as if he had just swallowed something unpleasant. This feels a bit too sweet for my taste. Oh, it's just so delicious. No, that's a bit too sweet for my taste. Intense. It tastes like pure joy. Emma Harper shared with a bright smile. It's similar to syrup, but made with diabetics in mind. Emma Harper's smile faded away. Hey, I treated myself to that coffee for $4.50. It would mean a lot if you could at least give it a chance and show some appreciation. I'm not one to pretend, Emma Harper, and I never wanted you to feel like you had to spend your money on me. Wow. I leaned back in my chair, feeling completely stunned. It seems like accepting a kind gesture might not come easily to you, huh? It's more than just kindness. For me, it's all about finding ways to be more efficient. I've found a routine that has truly served me well over the years. What about a routine? With a light chuckle, Emma Harper shared a moment of joy. Are you talking about that experience where I arrive, glance at my emails, sip on some not-so-great coffee, keep to myself, and then head out? Oh, that routine. Lucas Bennett placed the cup down with a bit more force than he intended. I've followed my routine, and it has brought me to this point. This company thrives because I hold our standards to a high level. Are we setting high standards or building high walls? Emma Harper leaned forward, and from my perspective, it seems like you've created a fortress around yourself. Hey, Emma Harper? Please allow me to finish what I was saying. I saw her pointing at him. For you, coffee feels like it's everything, a matter of great importance. It feels like you communicate with others as if they're just machines. And I can't help but wonder if you find yourself having dinner alone in front of the financial news when the day is done. Lucas Bennett remained silent, yet I could see a spark in his eyes. I feel like you might not really understand my life at all. I can see that you might come across as a bit stiff, almost like a robot in a suit who's forgotten how to smile. The silence that followed felt so thick that I could almost taste it in the air. I slowly stood up, placing my hands on the desk. A robot? Emma Harper, trying to keep her voice steady, gently corrected. It's a very well-dressed robot. I have a well-organized schedule, and I find myself not enjoying anything that has a strong taste. Emma Harper, it's hard to believe you've been here for 3 days already. 3. So, you really believe you can figure me out just by the way I like my coffee? I can see right away that you have the charm of a broken vending machine. As Lucas Bennett made his way around the desk, he paused just in front of her, creating a moment that felt intimate and personal. Feeling a lump in my throat, I took a deep breath but stood my ground. A vending machine that's out of order? At least those places accept coins. I wish you would consider doing the same. Emma Harper. I know you might have some thoughts about my honesty, but let's not forget that you chose me for this role because I bring something different to the table compared to the other candidates. At that moment, the phone rang, breaking the silence and easing the tension in the air. Emma Harper responded instinctively, her gaze fixed on Lucas Bennett. Hi there. This is Emma Harper from Parker & Stone. I really need to talk to Lucas Bennett as soon as possible. I'm excited to share my thoughts on the West Coast expansion proposal. I recognized the voice of Emma Harper, Mr. Thomas Blake, someone I truly value as a client. Hi, Mr. Thomas Blake. I hope you're doing well. Is there anything I can assist you with before I pass you along? Of course, you absolutely can. I feel a bit anxious about the numbers we looked at yesterday. I feel a bit uncertain about the California market right now, and I'm questioning whether this is the best moment for us to expand. I glanced over at Lucas Bennett, who was still standing by the desk, clearly tuned in to everything happening around us. Mr. Thomas Blake, I hope you don't mind me asking, but are you feeling more worried about short-term instability or the long-term picture? Honestly, I feel that way about both. As I bit my lip, my mind raced with thoughts. I just came across the news about the new tax incentive law that passed in California last week. Have you seen it? There was just silence on the other end. Which law are you referring to? The Business Investment Incentive Act is something I find quite interesting. There are opportunities for companies to receive up to 30% in tax breaks if they choose to establish their operations there within the next 18 months. I caught a glimpse of Lucas Bennett, and I could see the surprise written all over his face. If Parker & Stone move in now, I believe we could really take advantage of that opportunity and gain a significant lead over the competition. I wasn't aware of that law. It happened last Thursday, but it seems like not many people know about it yet. Many companies may not realize what's happening until it's already too late. I couldn't help but stare at her in disbelief. Emma Harper, could you please transfer the call now? Thank you, I heard him whisper. Absolutely, Mr. Thomas Blake. I'm happy to connect you with Mr. Collins right now. If I could share a thought, I would gently recommend that we consider moving things along a bit more quickly. Opportunities like this are truly rare and special. I'm really grateful, Emma Harper. You truly made my morning brighter. I transferred the call and leaned back in my chair, feeling my heart race. Lucas Bennett answered the call on speaker. Thomas Blake, please tell me I just heard what I think I heard. Lucas Bennett, I just have to say, your assistant is truly a treasure. I'm curious, how did she find out about that California law? I'm curious about that as well. I found myself on the call for another 20 minutes. After Lucas Bennett finally hung up, he took a moment to gaze at Emma Harper, letting the silence linger between them. I'm curious, how did you come across that law? I found myself fiddling with my bag strap. I find myself diving into books quite often. When I find myself with some free time, I like to browse through news sites. I came across the article on Friday, and I found it really interesting. I find myself reading California legislation during my free moments. I enjoy reading everything. I find myself reading news articles, browsing through blogs, and even looking at medicine labels when I'm feeling a bit bored. I shrugged. I've found that you never really know when a random piece of information might just be the thing you need. It's amazing how life works that way. I sat back in my chair, taking a moment to absorb everything that had just unfolded. Emma Harper, I can't believe you just shared information with Thomas Blake that could mean so much for us. That's lovely. Does that help make up for the coffee you didn't enjoy? Lucas Bennett felt a flicker of a smile tugging at his lips. So close. The coffee was still not great. It feels like you sometimes come across as a bit robotic. Yet there are moments when you genuinely acknowledge the help you've received from others. Outside the office, in the open area, I noticed a small group of people gathered around the coffee machine, chatting and enjoying each other's company. It felt like everyone was putting on a show of being busy, but I could sense their curiosity as they leaned in to catch snippets of the conversation. Did she really just say that? Mia Torres from accounting whispered. A robot in a suit, Daniel Cruz from legal replied with a hint of amusement. There's a broken vending machine. She's really something, Chloe Evans from marketing said softly. No one should ever speak to Nathan Cole in that manner. But it worked, Liam Foster, the intern, said with a smile. I noticed how deeply he was listening when she talked to Thomas Blake. Mia Torres thought to herself that by Friday, she would likely be let go. I'm feeling a bit uncertain, Daniel Cruz admitted. Did you hear that call? I just saved $1 million contract. As I settled back into the office, I noticed Lucas Bennett focused on his computer, typing away with intent. Emma Harper, I wanted to talk to you about the coffee. I understand. I really do. I enjoy my coffee black, without any sugar, flavor, or vanilla. Just the pure essence of it. He corrected me, and I could see a hint of a smile on his face this time. I can handle the rest. I blinked, feeling a wave of surprise wash over me. Was that meant to be a joke? That was just a little correction of the facts. Absolutely, it was. I smiled warmly, feeling a sense of joy wash over me. I'm planning to bring some plain black coffee tomorrow, but I can't resist adding colorful napkins just to tease you a little. Hey, Emma Harper? Absolutely. I'm really impressed with the California law. It feels like a thoughtful step forward. As I noticed the warmth creeping up my face, I couldn't help but smile. Thank you so much, Mr. Collins. You can just call me Lucas Bennett. Oh, really? Please don't become too accustomed to it. It's just that you managed to save $15 million today. I smiled as I returned to my desk, feeling a strange sense of victory wash over me. As I stood by the glass door, I couldn't help but notice my new secretary, Nathan Cole, sorting through files with a gentle hum escaping his lips. I found her to be a bit of a whirlwind, impulsive, stubborn, and always keeping me on my toes with her unpredictability. It felt like just what he didn't know he was missing, even if her coffee wasn't the best. On Friday, I noticed Lucas Bennett stroll over to Emma Harper's desk, exuding a sense of confidence. He casually said, "You need to go to the company's year-end party," as if he were simply commenting on the weather. Emma Harper paused in her task of organizing the files and turned her gaze towards him. Do I really need to? It's something that our executive staff needs to do. Well, I'm a secretary. I'm so grateful to have you as my executive assistant. In a way, you're really part of the executive team. I blinked a few times. Since when has this been happening? This week, I managed to save 3 contracts and discovered that our accountant was charging us double for basic services. It really was true. After the California law incident, I really threw myself into the work. It seemed that she had this wonderful ability to see problems that others often overlooked. Lucas Bennett, I'm feeling a bit stuck because I don't have anything to wear to the corporate party. I'll be there on Saturday at 8. Please put on something to wear. Just right. What does it mean to be appropriate? I took a moment to really look at her, noticing the way her faded jeans paired perfectly with that colorful cat print blouse she wore. I'm looking for something that doesn't feature animals. On Saturday at 6 in the evening, I found myself standing in front of a mirror at a dress rental shop, reflecting on all my life choices. I think this one is just right for you, the saleswoman said with a warm smile, adjusting a bright red dress. It really draws your attention in a gentle way. I gazed at my reflection in the mirror. I found the dress to be absolutely beautiful, and it certainly caught my eye in a big way. Oh, I absolutely adore this cherry red piece. It fits me just perfectly, and the neckline strikes that lovely balance between elegance and boldness. Don't you think it's a bit too red? My dear, it's important for you to shine and be unique. A corporate party can feel like a social challenge. It's all about leaving a mark or fading away. An hour later, I found myself at the entrance of the 5-star hotel where the party was taking place, doing my best not to trip in my high heels. I couldn't help but notice how the red dress caught my eye, standing out beautifully against the soft, muted colors of everyone else around me. I took a deep breath and stepped into the elegantly decorated ballroom. As I walked into the room, I was greeted by the soft glow of crystal chandeliers overhead. The tables, dressed in crisp white tablecloths, created an inviting atmosphere, while the gentle melodies of a string quartet filled the air, wrapping me in a warm embrace of elegance and charm. "This isn't a party," she whispered softly to herself. "It feels like a grand farewell." With a deep breath, I made my way to the bar, doing my best to project confidence. That's when I felt her heels come alive in a way that was almost magical. I stumbled badly, my arms flailing as I tried to find my balance. Sadly, her hands brushed against a tray of champagne glasses that the waiter was holding. The tray glided through the air, almost as if time had slowed down just for that moment. 6 crystal glasses tumbled down, heading right towards Nathan Cole, who was engaged in conversation with a group of investors just a few feet away. "Oh dear," I whispered to myself, taking in the chaos around me. As Lucas Bennett turned, he felt the glasses come so close to his perfectly pressed tuxedo just inches away. With quick reflexes, he managed to dodge, causing the champagne to splash onto the floor rather than on himself. Suddenly, the whole room fell silent. It's a moment of complete silence. I stood there in the middle of the broken glass, my face as red as my dress. "I'm really sorry." As Lucas Bennett took a moment to really see her, he felt a warmth in his heart. His tux looked immaculate, even if there were a few drops of champagne on his shoes. Rather than exploding as Emma Harper had anticipated, he simply released a deep, weary sigh. "How are you doing?" "What am I doing?" "I wanted to check in and see if you're doing okay. Did you happen to cut yourself on the glass?" I looked down, feeling a bit taken aback by the question. I really don't believe that's the case. I signaled to the waiter, and he promptly began to clean up the shards with care. "Come on, let's get out of here," he said, extending his arm to her with a warm smile. I walked over to a quieter balcony, seeking a little escape from the curious stares of the other guests. "Lucas Bennett, I truly apologize. I understand that being in the spotlight isn't your favorite thing, and Emma Harper? Of course. How can I help you today?" Taking a deep breath, she listened to the gentle reminder to breathe. "Is it better now?" "A tiny bit." I leaned on the balcony railing, taking in the view around me. "I hope you won't hold it against me for nearly turning you into a champagne fountain." Lucas Bennett gently leaned beside her. "I've had my share of tough thoughts about you." That felt like it was almost a compliment. I noticed something that was simply true. I sat quietly for a few moments, letting the music from inside wash over me. "Do I play the piano?" Emma Harper suddenly asked. I looked at her, feeling a wave of surprise wash over me. "I'm curious to know what prompted your question. I noticed you watching the pianist with such a thoughtful expression. as if you were connecting with the music on a deeper level. I like to pay attention to the little things around me. Do you play? As I stood there, I could feel Lucas Bennett's hesitation in the air. Back in my childhood, I used to. What made you pause? My mom believed it wasn't worth the effort. I remember her saying that businessmen didn't really need artsy hobbies. I could see the frown on Emma Harper's face. That doesn't make sense to me. Music holds a special place in my heart. Do I play anything? Oh, I certainly do, my guitar. I'm not doing very well, but I do my best. She smiled. I've always dreamed of learning the piano, but I just didn't have the funds for lessons. It can be challenging at the beginning, but once you find your rhythm, is it similar to picking up a new language? That's right. As I looked at her, I felt a real sense of curiosity and warmth in my heart. Oh, how did you find out that I played? My hands. I can see you have the kind of fingers that would make a pianist proud. Elegant and flowing. As the music filled the room, I felt my fingers begin to dance on their own, as if they were creating melodies in the air. As I gazed down at my hands, it felt as though I was discovering them anew. It's impressive how you notice things, even if you sometimes stumble on flat rugs. I'm really drawn to the beauty of selective focus. I really believe it's a special talent. I could hear their laughter fill the room. I let out a low, easy laugh that caught them off guard. Hey, Lucas Bennett, do you mind if I ask you something? Of course, I really enjoy birthday parties. They bring so much joy and celebration into our lives. My heart skipped a beat as I noticed his expression shift right away. I really dislike them. Why is that? I always felt like responsibilities. When I was a kid, my mom loved to host big parties. It felt like they were more for her friends to enjoy than for my own happiness. I would put on a suit, greet the adults with a handshake, and simply bide my time until it was all behind me. As I sat there, I couldn't help but feel a tightness in my chest. I'm feeling quite sad about that. That's just how it goes. Actually, I don't think that's the case. Your birthday party is all about celebrating you. It's about having those who truly care by your side. I'm curious, what would your perfect party be like? As I paused to think, I felt a sense of reflection wash over me. There's nothing quite like enjoying pizza, listening to good music, playing silly games, and sharing laughter with friends until our stomachs ache. And of course, we can't forget the cake, especially when it has an abundance of frosting, because really, can there ever be too much frosting? It feels a bit overwhelming right now. Oh, that really sounds like a lot of fun. Just as Lucas Bennett was ready to say something, the balcony door swung open. Connor Reed from sales emerged, a bit unsteady on his feet, with a cheerful glow about him. Oh, look who decided to show up, he said with a slur, a hint of laughter in his voice. The most beautiful assistant in our company. Emma Harper felt a bit smaller in that moment. Hello, Connor Reed. Emma Harper, you look absolutely stunning in that dress. Connor Reed moved in a bit closer than was necessary. Would you like to dance with me? Thank you for understanding, but I'm currently having a conversation with Lucas Bennett. Oh, please, just take a little break from the boss for a few minutes. As I reached out, Connor Reed extended his hand toward me. I don't think he'll mind. Well, she actually said no, Lucas Bennett said, his voice taking on a chill that caught me off guard. Take a deep breath, Lucas Bennett. Everything will be all right. It's simply a dance. Connor Reed gently disregarded her refusal and reached out for Emma Harper's hand. She tried to pull away, but he gently held onto her wrist, not wanting to let go. Connor Reed, I kindly ask you. Hey, There's no need to feel shy. Just as Emma Harper was about to respond, I saw Lucas Bennett move in front of her, positioning himself protectively between them. Please remove your hands from her. At this moment, hey, just relax a bit. Well, here we are, Connor Reed. There was something in Lucas Bennett's voice that made it clear he meant what he said. As soon as Connor Reed felt the warmth of Emma Harper's wrist, he gently released his grip. I'm really sorry, my friend. I had no idea you both were, well, why not head back to the party and enjoy some coffee together? Connor Reed hurried away, leaving them by themselves once more. I rubbed my wrist, even though Connor Reed hadn't really hurt me. I'm really grateful. Thank you so much. Does he really do that all the time? There are moments when he's had a bit too much. It hasn't been serious, but I feel it shouldn't happen. I noticed the tension in Lucas Bennett's shoulders and the way his hands were clenched as I looked at him. How are you doing? I'm doing well, thank you. What truly matters is that you're doing well. There was something in the way he said that, and it made my heart race just a bit faster. Hey, Lucas Bennett? Absolutely. I really appreciate you staying by my side and not leaving me alone with him. Hey, Emma Harper? Absolutely. I really appreciate you reminding me that parties can be about so much more than just obligations. I caught their gaze, and for a moment, it felt like time stood still between us, stretching out longer than it probably should have. I think it's time for us to head back, Lucas Bennett said after a moment. I think so. Yet neither of them took a step forward. Something felt different on that balcony. There's a quiet truth that resonates deeply. In that moment, they both understood that there was no turning back. The Monday after the party, I noticed that Lucas Bennett seemed a bit quieter than he usually is. I noticed that I was checking my phone every 5 minutes and sighing more than anyone really should. Is everything okay? I watched as she sorted his mail on the desk. I'm so excited that my mother is coming to Boston. Am I doing something wrong? I'm excited to meet a friend's daughter who is a lawyer and a Yale graduate. It sounds like she could be a wonderful match for starting a successful family together. I could see he was clearly annoyed as he made air quotes. Emma Harper paused in the midst of sorting through the papers. So, you're not interested in meeting her? Emma Harper, I understand the kind you're talking about. She shares her thoughts on fine wine, dreamy European getaways, and how she envisions supporting my career while reimagining an apartment that she hasn't even moved into yet. Oh, wow. Do you find yourself feeling uneasy about ambitious women? It really bothers me when people view me as a life project, rather than seeing me for who I truly am. Just as I was about to pick up, the phone rang. I looked at the caller ID and felt a frown come on. It's her, isn't it? Please respond to it. If you'd like some privacy, I can step out for a bit. I'm afraid not. Please stay with me. I hope having you here will help me hold back any words I might regret later. Lucas Bennett picked it up and set it to speaker mode. Hey there, Mom. My dear Lucas Bennett, I'm looking forward to arriving on Thursday at 2. I've already made plans for lunch on Friday at the plaza with you and Sophia. Looking forward to it. Mom, I've already shared that I can't do that. I graduated from Harvard with a degree in corporate law, and I'm proud to come from a family that values respect and integrity. I just know you two will hit it off wonderfully. I watched as Lucas Bennett ran a hand through his hair, clearly feeling frustrated. Mom, I won't be able to make lunch on Friday. Why not give it a try? As I looked at Emma Harper, I felt a wave of uncertainty wash over me, and I couldn't help but hesitate. My heart heavy with a desperate longing for understanding. I'm currently in a relationship with someone. There was just silence on the other end of the line. Are you seeing someone special? Since when has this been happening? It's been a few weeks now. My eyes widened as I began to understand where this was leading. Lucas Bennett, I've noticed you've never talked about having a girlfriend. It's simply because it's something fresh and different. I'm just starting out. I'm curious. What is her name? I looked straight at Emma Harper, who was shaking her head vigorously. Emma Harper. My friend's name is Emma Harper. Emma Harper, my dear. I'm curious about the name Emma Harper. What does it mean to you? What a beautiful name, Mom. She holds a special place in my heart. Feeling overwhelmed, Emma Harper gently covered her face with her hands. I'm really looking forward to meeting her. Let's invite her to lunch instead of Sophia. Mom, this isn't quite what I expected. It's Friday, and the clock strikes 1 at the plaza. I believe in taking responsibility and not making excuses. I hung up the phone. As Lucas Bennett and Emma Harper shared a quiet moment, their eyes met, and a gentle silence enveloped them for a few seconds. Emma Harper finally spoke up, saying, "You just used me as an excuse with your mother." I felt a wave of panic wash over me. Lucas Bennett, I understand. I really do. It felt really silly. But I know you heard her. I'm Victoria Kensington, a proud Harvard graduate, and I cherish my wonderful family. I found out she was planning our wedding even before I had the chance to meet her. I stood up and started to pace around the room, feeling the need to move and think at the same time. I can't believe this is happening. I think it's important for you to reach out to her again and share the truth with her. It would mean a lot if you could lend me a hand. Emma Harper took a moment to pause, letting the stillness settle around them. Could you help me understand what you mean? Could you please pretend to be my girlfriend for the afternoon? It would really help me out, and maybe give her a reason to stop trying to set me up. Lucas Bennett, I really think this might not be the best choice. Emma Harper, I'd love to treat you to pizza for a whole month. What do you say? Pizza can't heal the emotional wounds that come from meeting your mother. I've enjoyed 2 months of pizza, and I'm excited about the raise. I gazed at him for what felt like an eternity. I'm curious about the amount of the raise. 15%. 25? 20. Sounds good to me. If your mom doesn't like me, that's something you'll have to deal with. I just know she's going to love you. Emma Harper chuckled softly, a hint of irony in the sound. Lucas Bennett, your mom is looking forward to Victoria Kensington, a Harvard graduate, coming over. Hi there, I'm Sophie Lane. I took a different path and decided to leave college, and now I'm here to assist you. I work as an executive assistant. It's really all the same, isn't it? I have a feeling she won't like me right from the start. By Friday, I found myself standing in front of the Fairmont Copley Plaza, dressed in my one dressy outfit, a navy blue conservative dress borrowed from my neighbor. I was doing my best to manage my nerves, feeling a little queasy as I took it all in. Lucas Bennett stood next to her, looking as wonderful as always. Are you ready? I really don't think so. Can you remind me of our story once more? I remember when we first met at work. We started off as friends, and over time our connection just blossomed into something beautiful. So, how long have we been together now? It's been 3 weeks, so what is it that I do for work? I work alongside you in the strategy department. Lucas Bennett, I really feel like I'm not familiar with strategy at all. This month, I managed to save 3 contracts. I believe you know more than you realize. I walked into the elegant restaurant. I was sitting at a table by the window, waiting for Eleanor Brooks. As soon as I saw her, I knew it was Emma Harper. I couldn't help but admire her perfectly styled gray hair, the elegant pearl necklace she wore, and her posture that radiated an air of high society. My dear Lucas Bennett. With a warm smile, Margaret opened her arms to embrace her son. Then her eyes found Emma Harper, filled with a gentle curiosity that was hard to miss. "Hi, Mom. I want you to meet Emma Harper." "Emma Harper, my dear mother, Eleanor Brooks. I'm so glad to meet you, Mrs. Collins." Emma Harper smiled warmly and reached out her hand. Margaret gave her hand a gentle shake, taking a moment to notice every little detail. "Oh, so you must be Emma Harper. I haven't heard much about you from Lucas Bennett. I find that he tends to keep things to himself." Emma Harper smiled, and it felt genuinely warm. I sat down, and right away, Emma Harper let her napkin slip from her hands and fall to the floor. As I bent down to pick it up, I accidentally bumped my head on the table. "I'm really sorry," she whispered, her cheeks flushed with embarrassment. I raised an eyebrow as I watched the scene unfold before me. "Hey, Emma Harper, I'm curious. What field are you in?" My approach. I've been focusing primarily on analyzing contracts. So what did you end up studying? Emma Harper took a deep breath, feeling a lump in their throat. "I'm really interested in business administration. However, I didn't complete my college journey." "Oh, it looks like you didn't finish. That's okay. We all have those moments." I could see the genuine shock on Margaret's face. I found myself needing to start working to take care of my own needs. There are moments when life takes unexpected turns, and it doesn't always align with our plans, right? I blinked a few times, trying to wrap my mind around that information. "How is your family doing?" "My mom works as a nurse in Ohio. My dad has been absent from my life for quite a while now." Oh, I could see that Margaret seemed a little uneasy with the truthfulness of the moment. "My mom is truly amazing. I remember how she worked double shifts to support me during my teenage years. She is truly the strongest person I have ever met." I listened to the conversation, noticing how Emma Harper chose to answer with honesty instead of trying to impress anyone. "Are you thinking about going back to college?" Margaret inquired. "Perhaps. Honestly, I feel like I've gained so much more from my experiences at work than I ever did during those 2 years of lectures." "Could you clarify what you mean?" "Last week, I had the opportunity to help save a $15 million deal by noticing a legal loophole that the lawyers had overlooked. I believe there's no college class that can truly teach that kind of instinct." I looked at Lucas Bennett, and he nodded back at me in agreement. It really is true. I have always admired how Emma Harper has this incredible knack for uncovering solutions that often slip under the radar. That's really interesting to me. I took a sip of water. "What do you envision for your future?" Emma Harper felt a lump in her throat at the question. "What are your thoughts on what lies ahead?" "I'm with Lucas Bennett. Being married is such a beautiful journey." "My family?" "Mom," Lucas Bennett interrupted gently, "it feels a bit too early to—" "Honestly, it's all good," Emma Harper said. "Mrs. Collins, I truly feel that healthy relationships develop over time. I'm really enjoying getting to know Lucas Bennett better." "Take your time. Take your time. It's nice to feel a sense of ease, isn't it?" "Absolutely. Planning a future with someone I'm still getting to know feels a bit premature." Lucas Bennett is a wonderful person who brings so much joy to those around him. His kindness and warmth make every interaction feel special, and I truly appreciate having him in my life. It caught me off guard. Every day I discover something new about him. I could see the curiosity in Margaret's eyes as she glanced back and forth between the two of them. "I'm curious to know what insights you've gained along the way." I felt a warm smile spread across my face as I looked at Emma Harper. "I'm so glad he plays the piano. I really don't enjoy birthday parties, but I have a deep love for classical music. He has a kindness that goes beyond what meets the eye, and a sense of humor that surprises even him." I looked at her, feeling a bit surprised. "Isn't that amusing? I really appreciate your dry sense of humor. It always seems to catch me off guard in the best way. It's delightful. I found myself watching their exchange with a sense of growing interest. I never knew Lucas Bennett played the piano. Emma Harper mentioned that he should start playing again. I believe that talented people should always embrace their gifts and share them with the world. As lunch went on, I found myself pleasantly surprised by how natural Emma Harper was being. I watched as she knocked over a few things, her laughter ringing a bit too loud at one point, and I couldn't help but notice her asking a couple of questions that were quite direct. She had a way of being honest and funny, and her genuine curiosity about getting to know Margaret really shone through. When it was time to say goodbye, Margaret wrapped her arms around Emma Harper in a much warmer hug than the one they shared at the beginning. Meeting you, Emma Harper, was truly a delight. I feel the same way, Mrs. Collins. Lucas Bennett, Margaret softly called to her son, her voice gentle as she spoke while Emma Harper was lost in thought. She is unique. How so? Genuine. She isn't putting on a show for me. It feels so refreshing. Once Margaret had gone, Lucas Bennett and Emma Harper strolled silently for a few blocks, each lost in their own thoughts. So, Emma Harper finally asked me, "How did I do?" She had a fondness for you. Is that so? I cared for you deeply. I found myself intrigued. My mother has a strong aversion to those who put in excessive effort. But you were simply be yourself. I smiled warmly. That sounds great. It can really wear you out to put on a facade and be someone you're not. Hey, Emma Harper. Of course, I'm really grateful for your help. Honestly, I'm glad to help. It seems like I could really use a 20% raise and a couple of months' worth of pizza from you. Sounds good to me. We both laughed, but I could feel that something had shifted between us once more. It began to feel like the lie was creeping too close to what I wanted to believe was true. The Monday after my lunch with Margaret, I walked into the office and noticed Lucas Bennett on a tense call with Michael Grant, the CEO of Sterling Tech, one of the largest tech companies in the country. David Sullivan, I hear you and I can see where you're coming from. Lucas Bennett was expressing his feelings about our marketing proposal, and it's clear he's feeling a bit frustrated. I found myself pretending to organize papers, all the while listening in closely. Absolutely, I understand how vital the young market is. I'm happy to say that our team has maintained a strong connection with the millennial audience. David Sullivan, I would really appreciate it if you could give me just one more week to reshape the presentation. After hanging up, I ran my hands over my face, feeling the weight of the moment settle in. Is something bothering you? Emma Harper inquired. Sterling feels that our marketing proposal for their new app doesn't quite resonate with their target audience. I understand he's looking for something fresh and youthful, but our team is more accustomed to traditional corporate campaigns. What is the app all about? Taskmaster is here to help college students and young professionals stay organized and on top of their tasks. I felt a frown tugging at my lips. What was the proposal that I shared with him? I pulled up the slides on my computer. I often think about those polished corporate images, the catchy slogans like "Efficiency is the path to success," and the cheerful models in pristine office environments. They create a certain vibe, don't they? Lucas Bennett, I can't help but feel this resembles a life insurance ad. Could you clarify what you mean? We don't live like that anymore. My life feels chaotic at times. I'm balancing work, school, my social life, and the weight of existential anxiety. This campaign feels more like it's addressing robots than genuine human beings. I leaned back in my chair. I'm curious. How would you go about it? I paused for a moment, biting my lip as I considered my thoughts. Being completely open and truthful. Let's reveal the true chaos that exists. It feels like your room is a bit of a war zone. This week has been a bit challenging with 3 missed deadlines, and I've been surviving on ramen noodles. But on the bright side, my tasks are all neatly organized in Taskmaster. As I blinked, I took a moment to gather my thoughts. Oh, that's quite detailed. It's genuine. I've noticed that young people really appreciate it when someone acknowledges that life can be quite messy. I think we can all agree that pretending to have it all together isn't something anyone truly wants to do. Emma Harper, I really believe marketing is more nuanced than that. I can't do that. And with a burst of enthusiasm, she chimed in, sharing some memes. I can't help but think of that meme with the dog calmly sitting in the fire, saying, "This is fine. This is just right for Taskmaster." Even though everything around me feels like it's falling apart, I find comfort in knowing that my tasks are still in order. I think this is just fine. Lucas Bennett gazed at her as if she had just proposed the wild idea of selling ice cream in the Arctic. Oh, memes. They're such a fun way to share a laugh and connect with others, aren't they? Are we working on a corporate campaign? Lucas Bennett, I know Sterling is eager to connect with young people. I've noticed that young people express themselves through memes. It feels like a whole new way of communicating. Just as Lucas Bennett was about to respond, the door swung open. I remember when Michael Grant and his team arrived, an hour early for the meeting, bringing a sense of eagerness with them. "Lucas Bennett, I really hope you have something exciting to share with me," David Sullivan said, giving his hand a warm shake. "Oh, David Sullivan, you've arrived a bit ahead of schedule. The meeting was set for." "I've had a change of heart. I'm really eager to see what you have to share with me at this moment." I felt a flutter of nerves as I looked over at Emma Harper, who was busy at her desk surrounded by a mountain of papers. "Absolutely. I'll reach out to the marketing team." In that moment, Emma Harper rose to their feet unexpectedly. "I'd love to share an alternative idea with you." My heart sank as I watched Lucas Bennett's face twist in disbelief. "Emma Harper, this just isn't right. I'm curious about who she is." With a hint of curiosity, David Sullivan inquired. Sophie Lane, my strategic assistant, jumped in with her response before Lucas Bennett had a chance to say anything. "I have a heartfelt proposal that I believe could truly transform the way you connect with your audience." I noticed Lucas Bennett trying to step in, but it felt like David Sullivan was really engaged in what was happening. "Please continue." I picked up a marker and walked over to the whiteboard, feeling a sense of excitement about what I was about to create. Taskmaster is more than just an organization app to me. It's a true lifeline for those of us feeling overwhelmed by our own chaos. I started drawing simple figures on the board. At least one thing is in order for the campaign. In the beginning, there was a moment that set everything in motion. I woke up late this morning, feeling a bit groggy but ready to embrace the day ahead. My room's a bit of a mess. I've got clothes scattered all around. I glance at my phone and see all my tasks neatly listed in Taskmaster. Line. My life may feel chaotic at times, but I know what truly matters to me. I leaned forward, feeling a sense of curiosity wash over me. Here we are in scene 2. I found myself in the library, surrounded by countless books, feeling a wave of panic wash over me. I opened Taskmaster and breathe a sigh of relief. Line. When everything feels chaotic, I find comfort in knowing there's always a first step I can take. As I noticed Lucas Bennett's pale complexion, I couldn't help but see David Sullivan's warm smile shining through. "So, how do you think we could make this go viral?" Emma Harper asked with a warm smile. "Genuine memes. Let's team up with influencers who genuinely incorporate the app into their daily lives. No one is just putting on a show of being organized. People like us sharing how Taskmaster supports us in navigating our wonderfully chaotic lives." "Oh, memes? They always bring a smile to my face, one of my colleagues asked David Sullivan. That's right. I'm seeing my life unravel, but I find some comfort in knowing my tasks are organized in Taskmaster. I found myself playfully mimicking that popular Drake meme, using my hands to express the fun of it all. I couldn't help but laugh when David Sullivan burst out in joy. I'm really impressed by that. I'm so glad to see that you're connecting with us. I found myself in a moment where I needed to take control of the situation. David Sullivan, I just wanted to share this early concept with you. I'm really looking forward to seeing our team grow and develop together. I feel like there's really nothing more to develop here. David Sullivan chimed in. I truly feel this is the kind of energy we've been hoping to find. Emma Harper, would you be willing to take the lead on this campaign? I watched Lucas Bennett closely, noticing how he appeared to be teetering on the edge of a nervous breakdown. It would truly be a privilege for me. Absolutely perfect. I'm hoping to receive a complete proposal by Friday. I've got everything planned out, including the timeline and budget. With a warm smile, David Sullivan grasped Emma Harper's hand, shaking it with genuine enthusiasm. Lucas Bennett, you really discovered something special. I truly believe this young woman has a remarkable understanding of the younger market, even more so than any agency I've collaborated with. After David Sullivan and his team departed, I closed the door and turned to Emma Harper. What just happened, I wonder? I managed to save the deal. Emma Harper, I noticed you took the initiative to lead a multi-million-dollar campaign, and I wanted to talk about it since it seems like a big step. It's important to check in with the team on such decisions. He really warmed up to the idea. That's not really what matters here. I found myself pacing the room, lost in thought. I see that you might not have had the chance to gain experience in marketing yet. I'm not familiar with budgets, timelines, or teams. Lucas Bennett, just take a moment to breathe. I'm here with you, and we'll find a way through this together. Shall we do this together? I hope you won't let me sink on my own, right? As I gazed at her, time seemed to stand still for a long moment. Emma Harper, you really stepped up for us with our biggest client and helped save our account. I can't thank you enough for that. Sterling was about to let us go. That doesn't mean... Once more, the door swung open. Liam Foster from Legal walked in with a bright smile on his face. I'm excited to share that Sterling has just signed a 2-year contract extension. I really loved the new creative direction. Once Liam Foster walked out, I sank into my chair, feeling the weight of the moment. Emma Harper, do you understand what you've just done? Did we really save our jobs? He ran his hands through his hair. I can't believe how you transformed our entire marketing strategy in just 15 minutes. In the common area, I could feel the whispers beginning to swirl around us. Is Emma Harper the one leading the Sterling campaign? Mia Torres softly whispered. It's hard to believe she's only been here for a month, isn't it? Daniel Cruz got back to me. And now she's taken on the role of a strategic assistant? With a sigh, I couldn't help but roll my eyes. It seems like there's something special happening between her and Lucas Bennett. Or maybe she's just truly talented at what she does, Liam Foster said. Oh, come on! I believe that no one can achieve such rapid success without some support along the way. As I settled back into the office, I noticed Lucas Bennett on the phone, working hard to gather a team to lend their support to Emma Harper. Absolutely, marketing is completely on board with this. No, she's not lacking in experience. She's truly innovative. Just a reminder, we have our meeting at 9 tomorrow. Looking forward to it. After he hung up, he turned to Emma Harper with a thoughtful expression. I'm so happy to share that you've officially been promoted to Senior Strategic Assistant. Congratulations. Is that so? Sterling really believed in me, and I'm so grateful that the board decided to approve a 30% raise in my salary. Emma Harper leaped out of her chair with excitement. Lucas Bennett, I think that's truly wonderful. Absolutely, Emma Harper. If this campaign doesn't succeed, it looks like we'll both be out of a job. Then I think we should find a way to make it work together. I looked at her and saw the determined spark in her eyes. Why do I feel like I just brought a whirlwind to the company? It's because you chose to. I smiled warmly. But the kind of hurricane that, once it passes, leaves everything in a better place. Lucas Bennett shook his head, caught in a mix of admiration and fear. I welcomed Sophie Lane, who had just joined us as a temporary secretary. Now she was at the helm of the company's biggest campaign, and I was beginning to understand just how much I cherished her creative chaos in the office. Even though it frightened him more than he was willing to acknowledge. It was a Thursday night, around 11 o'clock, and I found myself still at the office, adding the final touches to the proposal for Sterling. I remember how Lucas Bennett insisted on staying as well, meticulously going over every detail with a kind of intensity that made it clear he was worried that even a misplaced comma could lead to a loss of $15 million, sir. Lucas Bennett, for the 10th time, the presentation is just perfect, Emma Harper said, looking over at him with a warm smile, her papers piled high in front of her. It's time to take a break from revising. Just one more look at the Q3 numbers, I thought to myself, my eyes still glued to the screen. I noticed that he seemed a bit paler than usual, and I caught him touching his forehead several times in the last hour. I hope you're doing okay. You seem a bit. I'm doing well. Lucas Bennett interrupted her, though his voice came out a bit rough. 15 minutes later, I heard a strange noise coming from my office. I looked up and saw Lucas Bennett with his head in his hands. Hey, Lucas Bennett? I didn't get a response from him. I got up and walked into the office. I could see that Lucas Bennett was really having a hard time staying awake. His face was flushed and glistening with sweat. You have a fever, she said gently, placing her hand on his forehead. My skin felt like it was on fire. I'm feeling okay and don't have a fever. I have some work ahead of me. Lucas Bennett, you really seem to be feeling the heat. When was the last time you enjoyed a meal? I tried to remember. And I just couldn't. I'm not quite sure. Just yesterday? Perhaps the day before? Oh my goodness. I shook my head. Sometimes you remind me of a little one who just won't budge. Hey there. It's time to rise and shine. Emma Harper. I really need to wrap this up. You really need some medicine and a bit of rest. I'm happy to put the presentation on hold for now. As Lucas Bennett attempted to voice his thoughts, a sudden wave of dizziness washed over him, prompting him to clutch the desk for support. All right. I suppose I could use just 5 minutes for myself. As I helped him up, I gently slipped my arm around his waist, offering my support. Just 5 minutes. There's really nothing at all. I'm lying down now. I led him to the cozy break room tucked away at the back of the office. It was a cozy little space, featuring a comfy couch, a small table, and a mini fridge that didn't see much action. Emma Harper, I really can't believe this. I really don't need it. Please have a seat. She softly guided him down onto the couch. Just relax and let me take care of you. As I sank into the couch, I was taken aback by the wave of relief that washed over me, finally surrendering to what my body had been yearning for. Emma Harper stepped away for a moment and returned with a warm mug in hand, some pills, and a towel filled with ice. I made myself some chamomile tea from the break room, took 2 ibuprofen I found in the first aid kit, and grabbed some ice to help bring my fever down, I announced, setting everything on the table. Where did you come across chamomile tea? I've noticed that Chloe Evans from marketing has a lovely collection in her cabinet. I took it without asking first. I found myself sitting at the edge of the couch, feeling the warmth of the moment around me. Please remember to take your medicine. Lucas Bennett followed along without a word, and in that moment, Emma Harper understood just how unwell he truly was. I gently placed the cool towel on his forehead, and as Lucas Bennett closed his eyes, he let out a long sigh. Is this better? So much. I opened my eyes and looked at her. Emma Harper, you really don't need to go through with this. Absolutely, I do. I really want to make sure you're taken care of, especially since it seems like you might not be looking after yourself right now. I'm capable of looking after myself? Is that so? When was the last time I took a day off? I took a moment to think. Last Christmas, I found myself reflecting on the warmth and joy that the season brings. Lucas Bennett, can you believe it's been almost a year since then? I truly enjoy working. I enjoy finding little nooks to retreat to while I work. That feels different. I gently adjusted the towel on my forehead. Why do I put myself through this? What should I do? Be kind to yourself. I tend to keep people at a distance. It can feel like we sometimes forget to value our lives beyond this company. For a moment, I stayed quiet, my eyes gently closed. The fever and exhaustion had really taken a toll on his usual strength. My mother always told me that successful men don't have time for weakness, he finally said, his voice softening. When I think about illness, it feels like a moment of vulnerability. Connecting with others can sometimes feel challenging. Relying on others can feel like a vulnerability. As I sat there, I could feel a knot forming in my chest. Oh, Lucas Bennett, I can't believe that happened. It's truly heartbreaking. It really works well. It was a different story before you came into my life. Could you clarify what you mean? As Lucas Bennett opened his eyes, he gazed at her, revealing a sense of vulnerability in his expression. Emma Harper had never seen anything like it before. I seem to make a lot of mistakes. I have my own routine, my own rules, and I find comfort in maintaining my distance. I paused, breathing hard. It's hard for me to picture the office without you now. As I held my breath, a sense of anticipation washed over me. Lucas Bennett, I remember when I was a kid, and I would get sick. My mother would always send the nanny to look after me. She mentioned that she didn't have the time for any unnecessary drama, as he gently closed his eyes once more. I discovered that when I was unwell, it often felt like I was facing it all by myself. It feels really lonely, doesn't it? I've learned to stand on my own 2 feet and not depend on others. It feels more secure. As I felt the tears sting my eyes, a wave of emotion washed over me. In a spontaneous moment, she reached out and took his hand. I want you to know that you're not alone anymore. I looked down at our joined hands, feeling a warm surprise wash over me. Usually, he would have stepped back, but this time, I felt him squeeze my hand back. Emma Harper, I feel scared right now. What is there to be afraid of? I'm slowly finding my way to adapt to this. Thank you for taking care of me. I'm looking forward to meeting you. My voice may be soft, but it carries a deep sincerity. What is it about that makes you feel scared? It feels like people always end up leaving. When I was 12, my dad decided to leave. He told my mother that she was too cold and that I was starting to become just like her. It seems that every girlfriend I've had eventually stopped trying to connect with me. I felt his gaze meet mine directly. And I believe you will as well. Lucas Bennett, I hope you come to see that I truly am what my mother describes me to be. chilly, far away. I'm really sorry, but I can't do that right now. Embrace the feelings that resonate with you. As I leaned in closer, I kept holding his hand gently. Hey there, my determined friend. I'm not cold. I take my time to be careful. I've noticed a significant difference. Please allow me to finish what I was saying. I smiled. I find myself guarding my heart, a reflection of the pain I've experienced in the past. You're definitely not a robot. It truly connects us to our humanity. I might be scared, but I'm still very much human. As I watched her, it felt like I was witnessing something truly extraordinary. How do I do that? What should I do? I want to feel like I have the potential to be someone new. It feels so much better. We were very close now. As I looked at him, I could feel his breath and see the small scars on his face that I had never noticed before. Lucas Bennett, I truly believe you're doing better than you realize. I could feel a change in the atmosphere surrounding us. With a tender gesture, Lucas Bennett raised his free hand and softly caressed her face. Hi there, it's Emma Harper. Of course. How can I help you today? I'm really grateful. Thank you so much for being there for me, for holding on and persevering. We moved even closer. I could feel the heat of his fever and see the vulnerability in his eyes. In that fleeting moment, it felt like time stood still. As I tilted my head, I could feel the warmth of my lips just inches from hers. And then he paused. I really can't. Why not give it a try? Because I believe you truly deserve someone who understands how to do this the right way. I'm someone who embraces my feelings without fear. I pulled back, running my hand through my hair. I really don't want to cause you any pain, Emma Harper. If that choice is something I can decide for myself, I felt a mix of longing and fear as I looked at her. Emma Harper, I really wish you could see where I'm coming from. I'm not quite sure how to fit into the idea of being normal. My journey into dating, ways I express my affection. How can I make sure I don't mess things up? So, let's take the time to learn together. What if I'm unable to do it? Emma Harper offered a gentle, wistful smile. At least you gave it your best shot. I looked at them, and we shared a silence that felt thick with all the things we could say, but didn't. It was a moment filled with so much potential. At last, I settled back on the couch, the cool towel resting gently on my forehead. Hey, Emma Harper? Of course. How can I help you today? Please stay with me, just until I drift off to sleep. Absolutely. Emma Harper nestled beside him on the couch, their hands gently intertwined. Not long after, Lucas Bennett drifted off to sleep, his breathing settling into a peaceful rhythm. I stayed awake, watching him sleep and feeling a mix of wonder and tenderness at how someone could appear so strong during the day, yet seem so delicate at night. I could tell that she had no idea Lucas Bennett wasn't completely asleep. She had no idea that he was cherishing the warmth of her hand in his, trying to hold on to that precious moment when he felt a sense of connection after so long. The next Monday, I walked into the office and immediately sensed a tense atmosphere around me. I noticed employees huddled in small groups, their conversations quieting as I passed by. I could feel that something was happening. It felt a bit strange to find Lucas Bennett missing from his office, especially since he was usually the first one there, arriving well before 8. I organized my desk, doing my best to focus on the task at hand while trying to brush off the curious glances around me. At exactly 9, I saw Lucas Bennett walk in with 3 board members, William Carter, Sarah Mitchell, and James Parker. They all had such serious expressions on their faces. Emma Harper, could you please come to the conference room now? Lucas Bennett said, his gaze drifting away from her. Is everything okay? I'm really hoping you'll come. I walked into the conference room, and it was bustling with people. It was heartwarming to see the entire marketing team, along with HR, legal, and other departments, all gathered together. My stomach dropped as I felt a wave of unease wash over me. I saw William Carter, our board chair, stand up. "Miss Evans, I wanted to reach out because I've heard there are some concerns regarding your swift progress within the company. Do you have any concerns? Some employees have wondered if your promotion and leadership of the Sterling campaign were solely based on your professional merit," Sarah Mitchell shared, her tone feeling quite cold. I took a moment to look around the room. Some of my co-workers seemed to look away when she was around. People looked on with a mix of fascination and concern. Chloe Evans, in marketing, had a look of satisfaction that was hard to miss. "Could you clarify what you mean?" Emma Harper asked, her voice trembling slightly as she sought to maintain her composure. "I'm not suggesting anything," James Parker replied. "I'm looking into it. I can't help but wonder if it's just a coincidence that a secretary with no experience has been promoted so quickly after forming a close connection with the CEO." My face felt warm as a blush crept over my cheeks. I looked at Lucas Bennett, hoping he would say something. "I'm open to anything." I sat there quietly, my gaze fixed on the table. "Is that you, Mr. Collins?" As William Carter turned to Lucas Bennett, a sense of connection filled the air between them. "Could you please share a bit more about your relationship with Miss Evans?" Lucas Bennett finally glanced up, catching Emma Harper's gaze for just a moment before turning his eyes elsewhere. "Emma Harper is someone I truly admire for their capabilities at work. My promotions were based on my performance. Is that really everything?" Rachel Bell gently urged. "Is that everything?" It felt as if someone had just knocked the wind out of me. After all that we had shared, and after he opened up so much the night before, it felt heartbreaking to see him now deny any connection between us. "Miss Evans," George continued warmly, "can you share whether there was any personal involvement with your supervisor that might be considered inappropriate? Is this not suitable?" Emma Harper said again, her voice beginning to shake with frustration. "Are you suggesting that my promotion is due to something specific? I would really appreciate it if you could simply provide an answer to the question." As I glanced at Lucas Bennett once more, I felt a warmth in my heart. He still wouldn't look her in the eye. My professional relationship with Mr. Collins is completely appropriate. What about on a personal level? I don't feel a personal connection here. The words slipped out with a touch of bitterness. It was true, but it really pained me to say those words. I took a moment to look over some documents. "I've heard from a few people who mentioned they saw you both outside the office together. For instance, at the Fairmont Copley Plaza. We have a business meeting," Lucas Bennett said quickly. "Is your mother there with you?" I raised an eyebrow, feeling a mix of curiosity and surprise. The room was wrapped in an uncomfortable silence. Emma Harper finally stood up, feeling like they couldn't hold back any longer. "I'm not sure where these rumors came from. I believe I can demonstrate my professional value. I'm really proud to share that the Sterling campaign helped us boost our company contracts by 40%. I managed to save 3 deals that were on the verge of falling through. I put in place systems that made a difference. I just want to clarify that no one is questioning the results," James interjected warmly. "I'm really reflecting on the methods we're using." "What are the methods?" I let out a dry laugh. "Are you curious about how I do things?" I spend my days working for 12 hours. I take the time to read everything about our clients. In my spare time, I enjoy exploring the market and learning more about it. I truly care about the success of this company. "Miss Evans, please take a deep breath," George gently urged. "Take a deep breath and relax. It feels like my professional reputation is being damaged by rumors, and I'm being told to just take it easy? I glanced at Lucas Bennett one last time, wishing he would speak up for me. I could feel the silence linger in the air. Do you know what? I picked up my bag. I can't bear to be in a place where people choose to believe in rumors over what truly matters. Miss Evans, I have decided to resign. As the news settled in, I could feel a wave of disbelief wash over everyone in the room. Emma Harper, I truly believe it doesn't have to come to this. Finally, I heard Lucas Bennett speak, his voice soft and gentle. Emma Harper looked at him, her eyes filled with a mix of anger and pain. So, you're finally ready to talk? After I sat there and allowed them to tear me apart? I shook my head. From the very first day, I've seen you as someone who seems distant and self-focused, almost like a machine that doesn't connect with others. Emma Harper, I really can't do this anymore. I looked around at the board. I'd prefer to focus on what truly matters, rather than getting caught up in theories and gossip. I hold my self-respect dear, and I know I deserve to be in a place where I'm valued. I stepped outside, feeling the weight of the door as I closed it firmly behind me. The quiet that came after was overwhelming. I stood there, frozen in place, my eyes fixed on the closed door. So, George finally asked, is the problem solved now? Is the problem resolved? Lucas Bennett said again, his voice feeling far away. I've managed to clear away the uncomfortable situation. I believe we can find our way back to normalcy. As Lucas Bennett nodded slowly, he felt a deep sense of turmoil brewing within him, as if something precious was unraveling. Bright and early the next day, Lucas Bennett showed up, just like he always does. As he walked by Emma Harper's empty desk, he felt a moment of pause. I found everything perfectly organized when she left. I organized the files by color, updated the schedule, and even included detailed instructions for whoever will take over her duties. I sat at my desk, trying to focus on my work as if everything was just as it should be. After 2 hours, I found myself staring at the same email for the 5th time, and it hit me. I hadn't taken in a single word. Is that you, Mr. Collins? As I stood by the door, I noticed Chloe Evans from marketing waiting there. I wanted to share some thoughts about my meeting with Sterling on Thursday. Just cancel it, Lucas Bennett said, his eyes still focused elsewhere. But you know, it's really about the contract renewal. I asked to cancel it. Chloe Evans hurriedly made her way out. By Wednesday, I found myself running late to 2 meetings and responding to emails with answers that seemed to miss the mark entirely. When Connor Reed from legal came in to discuss a contract, Lucas Bennett was so overwhelmed that he ended up sending him out of the office in a rush. He's just impossible, Connor Reed whispered to Mia Torres as they stood by the coffee machine. Emma Harper arrived, and things felt even more challenging than they had before. I hope he sees just how much she truly contributed to his life. Mia Torres got back to me. On Thursday, I found myself on the phone with an employment agency, reaching out for new opportunities. He mentioned that he needs someone with experience who can handle challenges without feeling overwhelmed. I have a strong personality. Could you share what specific profile you're looking for, Mr. Collins? As I took a moment to reflect, it dawned on me that I was actually talking about Emma Harper. That's okay. I'll reach out again later. I hung up and leaned back in my chair. The office was up and running in its own way. Yet it seemed to lack any warmth. I just feel like there's no spark right now. No, thank you. Emma Harper isn't here. On Friday, I received a call from Sterling. Lucas Bennett, do you know where Emma Harper is? I'm looking forward to discussing some changes in the campaign with her. Emma Harper has moved on from this place. Excuse me, could you clarify that for me? Why is that? I just couldn't find the words. Lucas Bennett, are you feeling okay? Emma Harper has truly been the best thing that's happened to our company in years. What on earth happened? After a tense call with Sterling, I found myself sitting alone in my office, gazing at the empty desk just outside my door. For the first time, he opened up about the truth he had been avoiding for so long. Emma Harper didn't just help us get things done more efficiently. She truly brightened my life. Brighter. I'd love to see more. As a person, I strive to connect with others on a deeper level, embracing our shared experiences and emotions. He allowed them to humiliate her and push her away, all because he was scared. He felt a deep fear about acknowledging how much he truly needed her. He felt a deep fear about admitting that he was in love with her. I picked up the phone, felt a moment of uncertainty, and then gently set it back down. How can I make things right now? After I hurt her deeply, life outside continued on as if nothing had happened. Yet within Parker and Stone, Nathan Cole was discovering a difficult truth. There are moments in life that, once they slip away, may never return. I've come to realize that when someone has been hurt, it can be really hard for them to trust again. I had lost Emma Harper. He began to understand that he had lost the most precious part of himself when he was with her. I spent the whole weekend searching for her, hoping to find out where she was. I called her number dozens of times, but it just went straight to voicemail. I remember when he stopped by her apartment, hoping to find her, but the neighbor mentioned she hadn't been seen in days. It was Liam Foster from Legal who finally offered him a hint. Hey, Emma Harper? Oh, I saw her post on Instagram about volunteering at an animal shelter in Brooklyn. That sounds wonderful. I really feel like I could use some puppy therapy after going through this corporate heartbreak. I had never used Instagram before, but somehow I found my way to the location. Hopeful Paws Animal Sanctuary is a place close to my heart. On Sunday morning, I drove to Brooklyn with a bouquet of pink peonies. The receptionist shared with me that Emma Harper has a special fondness for certain flowers, and a speech I had lovingly rehearsed in front of the mirror for an hour. I remember the shelter as a cozy little building, nestled among outdoor pens and kennels that were filled with the sounds of hopeful barks and playful paws. I parked the car and took a moment to adjust my suit, feeling a bit out of place. With a deep breath, I made my way to the entrance, ready to face whatever was ahead. "How can I assist you today?" a friendly volunteer at the front desk inquired. "I'm searching for Sophie Lane. I really need help right now." "Hey, Emma Harper? I'm so happy to see her in the rescued pig pen. Let's step out that door together. Just take a right turn here. You really won't want to miss it." I followed the directions, my mind replaying my speech over and over. "Emma Harper, I really messed up. I'm so grateful for your presence in the company and for—" I came to a sudden halt when I took in the scene before me. I found myself sitting in the middle of a cozy pen, surrounded by soft hay, with an adorable little pink piglet nestled in my lap. I noticed she was in old jeans, rubber boots, and a t-shirt that had seen better days, stained with mud. I found her talking to the animal as if it were a little baby. "Oh, buddy, sweet boy, you can't nibble on my bracelet, okay? It's not food," she chuckled, as the little piglet playfully attempted to nibble on her wrist. I stood by the fence, clutching the bouquet in my hands, feeling a wave of uncertainty wash over me about what to do next. "Excuse me," I called out. I looked up, and I could feel my expression change in an instant, going from cheerful to completely frozen. "What brings you here?" "I'd really like to have a conversation with you. I feel like there's not much for us to discuss right now." I turned my attention back to the pig. "I'm just really tied up right now. Buddy was left behind by those who believed he had lost his value. The jab hit with a lot of force. As I opened the gate and stepped into the pen, I held the bouquet close, almost like a shield, ready to embrace the moment. Emma Harper, I really want to take a moment to explain myself. Could you help me understand what you mean? How could you just sit there in silence while they humiliated me? At last, Emma Harper turned her gaze toward him. Or how you said there was never anything between us. I just wanted to keep you safe. I don't believe that's the case. I was just trying to protect myself. As Lucas Bennett took a step forward, eager to present her with the flowers, he unexpectedly found himself stepping right into a mud puddle. My foot slipped, and I fell spectacularly, landing flat on my back in a pile of hay. The bouquet slipped from his grasp, and I watched as the petals danced through the air, scattering all around us. Buddy, a bit surprised, leapt off Emma Harper's lap and dashed over to Lucas Bennett, who was now all covered in straw and mud. Please step away. Please step away. I tried to shake off the little pig, but Buddy seemed to think my expensive suit was the ideal spot to snuggle up against. I couldn't help but laugh. Buddy, please give the man some space, she gently said, as she scooped up the little creature. As I settled down in the straw, I couldn't help but notice my tie was crooked, my hair a complete mess, and bits of hay sticking out all over the place. Well, this certainly wasn't the entrance I had envisioned, he said with a hint of disappointment. I can really picture that. I stood up, attempting to brush off my suit, but somehow I just ended up making it worse. Emma Harper, I realize I've messed things up completely. I understand that I may not have earned your forgiveness. I want you to know that you were right about me. What do you mean by right? I often feel like I'm lacking courage. I really wish I had stood up for you when the board came after you. I really should have told you that you're the most capable person I've ever had the pleasure of working with. I can't believe you saved more contracts in just 2 months than our team managed to do in an entire year. As Emma Harper held Buddy close, Lucas Bennett could sense that she was fully engaged, her attention unwavering. But instead, I felt a wave of fear wash over me. I was worried they might discover that you meant so much more to me than just being my assistant. You truly were. You truly are. What is it, Lucas Bennett? As I took a deep breath, I felt a sense of calm wash over me. They brought back the warmth of feeling alive again, to share a laugh. I hoped to find companionship and not feel alone all the time. Buddy decided that was the perfect time to let out a big, loud snort. As Emma Harper gently placed him on the ground, he quickly waddled back to Lucas Bennett, happily nibbling on the hem of his pants. It seems to me that he has a fondness for you, Emma Harper said, holding back a smile. Emma Harper, I realize I may not be in a position to ask this, but please come back. To the team? Dear team, for me. I knelt down in the soft straw, feeling the warmth of the moment, even as the pig playfully tugged at my tie. I truly want you by my side, both in my team and in my life. Emma Harper took a moment to observe him closely. Lucas Bennett, you really hurt me. So much. I understand. If you'll allow me, I promise to dedicate my life to making amends for it. What if the board tries to make me feel small again? They'll need to get past me before anything else happens. I looked her straight in the eyes. Emma Harper, you truly are the most wonderful thing that has come into my life in such a long time. It's more than just about work for me. Your presence inspires me to strive for improvement in myself. I noticed a volunteer walking by the pen, gently capturing the moment on her phone. There I was, kneeling in a pig pen, trying to pour my heart out to a woman, while a mischievous pig was determined to ruin my $1,000 tie. It was a moment that felt both absurd and genuine, a blend of vulnerability and humor that I'll never forget. Lucas Bennett, I understand that I may not have earned another opportunity, but if you give me one, I promise I'll always stand by you and ensure that no one ever doubts your value, both in your career and in your life. I stayed quiet, just watching him. There was Lucas Bennett, down on one knee in the straw, looking a bit disheveled and covered in hay, with a pig playfully tugging at his tie. He was apologizing, and there was a sincerity in his voice that I had never witnessed before. "Buddy, please let go of the man's tie," she finally said with a gentle tone. As Lucas Bennett glanced down, it felt like he was truly seeing the pig for the very first time. "Oh no, he's munching on my tie. Did you spend a lot on that tie?" "Absolutely. It seems he really knows how to appreciate the finer things." Lucas Bennett burst into genuine laughter. "Sophie Lane, I would love for you to come back and work with me again. How about sharing a dinner together? Are we skipping the pigs this time?" As I stepped closer, I gently picked up Buddy and turned my gaze towards Lucas Bennett. "There's just one thing I need to ask. I'm open to anything. The next time someone doubts my abilities, I hope you'll stand up for me, openly and without a second thought." "Sounds good to me. And you'll trust me to help reorganize your office. My desk is quite a mess right now. Since you just saw me get tackled by a pig, I trust you can do whatever you like with my desk." At last, Emma Harper smiled. "In that case, I gladly accept. But first, I think I could really use a shower. You have a scent that reminds me of a barn." I took a moment to look at myself. He truly had a lot going on. It truly is worth it. "Excuse me, could you please clarify that?" Everything becomes meaningful when it leads you home. The next Tuesday, I walked back into the office feeling as if I had never really been away at all. What changed was just her new official title. I was appointed as the Director of Creative Strategy, and it felt wonderful to have the board's unanimous approval, especially after Lucas Bennett expressed his strong feelings about the decision. It was a moment of unity and understanding for all of us. I could feel the excitement of the Sterling campaign growing all around me. In just 2 weeks, it brought in 3 million views, boosted app downloads by 400%, and 5 other companies reached out to Parker & Stone, eager for campaigns inspired by Sophie Lane. "The Sterling numbers are in," Lucas Bennett said warmly as he stepped into Emma Harper's new office, holding a stack of reports close to his chest. "This month, I've been fortunate enough to secure 15 million in new contracts. Is that so?" Emma Harper leaped to her feet. "Lucas Bennett, I think that's truly wonderful. I'm looking forward to our meeting with the Morrison Capital investors on Thursday. I'm excited to talk about a $50 million partnership." I've noticed that Emma Harper has stopped celebrating. 50 million, Lucas Bennett? I truly believe this is the biggest opportunity we've ever had in our company's history. Absolutely. "So you're going to be presenting?" "It's me." As I sank into my chair, I felt a wave of comfort wash over me. "Lucas Bennett, I feel like this is just too much for me to handle. What if I make a mistake?" "I believe you'll do just fine." Lucas Bennett found a cozy spot on the edge of her desk. "Emma Harper, I truly believe you've transformed this company in such an incredible way. I'm eager to connect with the creative spirit behind the Sterling campaign. In the next couple of days, we came together to prepare the presentation. It was the first time we had truly collaborated as equals. The energy between us was truly intense." "No, no, no," I found myself saying on Wednesday night as I went through the slides for what felt like the 10th time. "This chart feels a bit too formal for my taste. I really believe that Morrison is looking for something fresh and innovative rather than the usual routine. Emma Harper, I have a chart showing the financial results. How can it feel too corporate? Honestly, it just feels a bit dull. I stood up, feeling energized. I was thinking, instead of going with the usual bar charts, why not try some visuals that really capture organic growth? It could be a refreshing change. Should I include plants, waves, or maybe even a combination of both in my financial presentation? Why not give it a try? I couldn't help but feel a rush of excitement as I gestured enthusiastically. I invest in companies that are changing the game and pushing boundaries. I believe they want to see that we have a unique perspective. I rubbed my temples, feeling the weight of the day pressing down on me. Emma Harper, I really think we should find a way to keep the charts clear and straightforward instead of turning them into modern art. It's important to remember that not every presentation needs to be an accounting manual. We were looking into each other's eyes now. I could feel the tension thick in the air. Lucas Bennett, you welcomed me back because of the way I see things. Let me take a moment to consider things from a new perspective. I'm aware of that. However, it's important for us to maintain a sense of professionalism as well. Being professional doesn't have to be dull. Being creative doesn't mean being reckless. We stood very close now, both feeling the frustration and passion for our work. I could feel the energy between them. It was electric. You're just impossible, Emma Harper said with a sigh. And I can see that you're quite stubborn, Lucas Bennett responded quickly. It seems like someone needs to be there for you. Lucas Bennett gently interrupted her with a kiss. It caught me off guard, and it was so intense, filled with all the tension that had been building up over the past weeks. For a moment, I was taken aback, but then I found myself kissing him back with the same intensity. As they finally separated, both of them found themselves breathless. Lucas Bennett started to share his thoughts. That was truly something special. I tried to speak. I took a step back, suddenly realizing what had just happened. That really shouldn't have happened. As I ran my hand through my hair, I felt a sense of calm wash over me. I really don't think it should. Emma Harper nodded, her cheeks warm, unable to tear her gaze away from his lips. I've got a presentation we need to wrap up, Lucas Bennett said, gently steering us back on track. Absolutely. I believe in the importance of presentation and staying focused. I quickly sat down, pretending to organize papers that were already perfectly in order. We worked in silence for the rest of the evening, but I could feel that everything had changed. Every accidental touch and every glance held a new, unexplored tension that felt so alive. On Thursday morning, I felt more nervous than I ever had before. The presentation was at 2, and I had rehearsed so much that I felt like I could do it in my sleep. You're ready, Lucas Bennett said, spotting her in the break room at 11. What if they don't like it? What if I just can't move? What if I took a moment to reflect on the possibilities? Emma Harper, my dear. As Lucas Bennett gently placed his hands on her shoulders, a sense of warmth filled the air between them. I think you're truly brilliant. I just know they're going to love it. Just an hour before my presentation, I received an emergency call that caught me off guard. What is it? He responded with a bit of tension. When will it be? No, I feel it's important for me to be here for... I completely understand. I'll see you in about 20 minutes. I could tell he was upset when he hung up. Emma Harper, I'm facing a family emergency right now. I'm feeling a bit worried because my mother is in the hospital. Oh dear. Lucas Bennett, it's time for you to go now. However, the presentation... I'll take care of it myself. Emma Harper, it's $50 million, and I truly understand every number, every strategy, and every detail involved. With a gentle nudge, I guided him toward the door. Please go and take care of your mom. I'll take care of Morrison. At exactly 2 o'clock, I found myself in the conference room alongside 5 executives from Morrison Capital. Without Lucas Bennett by my side, I felt vulnerable, yet resolute. Thank you all for being here. It means a lot to me. What I'm about to share is more than just a partnership. I'm excited to share that this is truly a game changer in the way we approach marketing. Across town, I was at the hospital, discovering that my mother had only sprained her ankle, yet she was convinced it was a serious emergency. When I realized I had been tricked into missing the presentation, I felt a wave of panic wash over me. I rushed back to the office, my heart racing, and got there just in time to catch the middle of Emma Harper's pitch. As I peeked through the conference room door, I couldn't help but notice Emma Harper leading the room with such grace, much like a conductor guiding an orchestra. I felt a sense of connection as the executives were fully engaged, asking questions and smiling, clearly impressed. What truly matters, my friends, is not whether we should embrace innovation. Emma Harper was sharing her thoughts, emphasizing the importance of making choices based on what we can truly afford. As she pointed to a chart, Lucas Bennett felt a sense of surprise at how the organic visual elements came together so beautifully and effectively. One of the executives leaned in closer. Miss Evans, I'm curious to know how you envision this partnership evolving over the next 5 years. I truly believe you are leading the way into a new era of genuine marketing. I'm noticing so many companies eager to collaborate with us, and I can envision all of us enjoying great wealth, Emma Harper said with a warm smile. I couldn't help but smile as the room filled with laughter. I felt a wave of pride so strong that I had to lean against the wall for support. Emma Harper radiated a sense of confidence that was truly inspiring. She truly stood out, and she belonged to him. Actually, he took a moment to adjust his words. She was my partner, in every way possible. As the meeting wrapped up with a friendly handshake and hopeful promises of a contract for the following week, I found Lucas Bennett waiting for me in the hallway. How did it turn out for you? I could see the eagerness in his eyes as he asked. I'm excited to hear that they want to sign a 5-year deal. It's actually 70 million, not 50. I looked at her for a moment, then gently lifted